Okay, good morning, everybody. So today we're going to start off about a 20-minute segment that we're now going to include in our service here on the Sabbath. And really what it's going to be, it's more about looking at different platforms, media platforms, different articles, podcast, every type of communication that I can get my hands on. And I will bring you, and I will post also the article or information where I received this or where I read this information so that you can go and do your own research if you want to. But basically in these 15, 20-minute segments, we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about what's going on out there today in our world, in our country, in our culture, globally. Things specific to Christians, things specific to us, to the chosen people, to the people of God. And I also encourage you, if you see something or if you hear of something that you think is interesting, please let me know. Forward over the information, the article, and I will review it, and we can go from there. But anyway, I'm going to present I'm going to put or share with you the article that I'll be reviewing today. So please bear with me. And this one I thought was extremely interesting, simply because it speaks about what's going on now in our time, right? What we're facing as Christians, as just basic human beings.
Are you sharing the screen, Cynthia? Because we don't see anything, I don't think.
Not yet. I'm doing that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
All right, now can you see it?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, so this is the article, okay? This is on the Christian Headlines website. So you can go there and read it yourself or just check out this website. So this is what I was reading, and that really caught my attention. I wanted to spend a little bit more time today than just 5 minutes or 10 minutes on this. It says, don't call on demons you don't believe in. Okay, John Stonestreet and Shane Morris via Breakpoint or breakpoint.org. February 24th, 2023. So it's a recent article, fairly recent. Now, I'm going to read a little bit on this and then move into it a little bit into more detail. Human beings, John Calvin said, are incurably religious creatures. Left to our own devices, we will start worshiping something or someone, whether or not that means dabbling in the supernatural and calling on spirits, holy or otherwise. This is true even for those who don't take the supernatural seriously. Such people may assume their dabbling is harmless or artistically edgy, but they couldn't be more dangerously mistaken. Now in this, they speak about another article written in the New York Times, as you can see here, where Ross Judath, I hope I pronounced his name correctly, commented on the growing interest in astrology, manifesting videos on TikTok, and spiritual exploration with the psychedelic drugs. These things, he argues, are signs that our supposedly secular society is in the midst of a spiritual awakening, but one that involves the wrong types of spirits. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have TikTok or whatever social media platform you may have. I don't. I personally try to stay away from that stuff, but I do run into podcasts, webcasts, articles, just little mini videos from TikTok, for example, or maybe YouTube, where people are posting, their obsession these days with the unknown, with the supernatural, as they call it. And they're picking up these things, especially younger people, secular younger people, and even Christian kids, which, you would think that wouldn't happen, but but it definitely does. And they're picking up these things on how to manifest. Okay, you see some of them are, trying to have their spirit manifest in them. They're trying to let you see into how they speak to these things, how they call on them, right? And so it's really dangerous. Now, you would say, I looked at this and I thought, okay, just secular kids, right? Atheist kids, parents who don't care, they're probably hippies from the 60s, or, all these stereotypical things that you like to think of. Oh, they're progressive, parents, they're liberal. But it's, like I said, it's not just infecting those type of people or kids or families, but Christian families, conservative families. And that we don't want to talk about. Oh no, because only bad progressive kids live. No, this goes far and above and beyond. I've always said, and I'll continue to say, and I've heard this before by Steve Quayle, and I believe this to be true. There is no political solution to a spiritual problem. And so at this point, in my humble opinion, the game as usual has to stop. No more, I'm this color, I'm that color. No more, I'm this animal, I'm that animal. I'm this party, that party. No, you have got, if you are a true God-fearing individual, you need to stop that type of dumb think, and you have to really concentrate on what this fight is about. And this is more of a fight. It's more of a war. It's no longer a battle, because obviously we have lost the battle. The American church has lost the battle. So moving forward, it says, unrestrained by theology or organized faith, people eager for transcendence are opening doors without considering what might walk through. For example, Judath notes the golden statue of a woman-like creature that was recently placed atop of New York City courthouse. The bizarre figure features hair braided into horns, arms reminiscent of tentacles, and a lace collar in an apparent homage to the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's an unsettling mashup of earth goddess, abortion politics, and classic demon imagery that embodies our society's experimental spirituality. And it goes on to say, more overtly, hellish antics took the stage at this month's Grammy Awards, where non-binary pop singer Sam Smith literally dressed up as a devil and performed a song called Unholy with transgender artist Kim Petras. Progressive commentators were quick to lecture religious conservatives who were supposedly freaking out over Smith's horns and hooves. These performers are probably don't actually believe that devils exist, said one left-wing host. It's just an artistic expression. And that's where I'm saying that the American church has become inefficient. We've let people down, because while we've tried to teach them about love, 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 forgive, 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 we haven't really taught them about spiritual warfare. We haven't really exposed them to what is really going on and how it can seep into each and every culture, each and every church and families. We really don't want to even talk about it because, oh, gooey, it's scary. Oh, my beautiful ears can't take it. Well, look at what happened for not talking about it. Look at what has happened for not facing it straight on. Our own pastor has had to deal with this. He, even as a little boy, I remember him telling us, he's come face to face with the devil. And so that does exist. The devil is real. His minions are real. And now his minions are in the form of commentators, journalists, supposed journalists, of all backgrounds, of all colors. And now they're using politics. They're using culture. They're always used media, movies, music. to try and just get under just get under the radar so that people only say it's just music. But look at what's going on now. People are conjuring up. People are talking about, people want to be part of this satanic world. And it states here, it's asking a question. Is it possible that the devil doesn't care? Maybe Smith and his artists behind the New York courthouse statue are just trying to be edgy or being pulled along by the lure of the taboo. Many people who experiment with occult spirituality and expanded consciousness are just fooling around. Maybe flirtations with spiritual darkness are only a big bluff. But it states here, it makes us, it asks the question, but what if Satan calls that bluff? As Thaddeus Williams pointed out in World, the founder of the Church of Satanism, Anti-LaVey also treated the Prince of Darkness as a metaphor for self-expression. Doubtless, the very real devil overlooks such details. I imagine he's too clever to object to people worshiping him on the trivial grounds that they're being tongue-in-cheek about it. And that's true. That's very true. Like, I know that we've talked about this before, and it goes on to talk about here about different articles, a book, C.S. Lewis, The Last Battle, talking about the main characters, terrifying God in that book. Basically, everything that we're seeing today, all right? Look, what am I trying to say here? If you don't understand what I've just said, point blank, we need to have these serious conversations with our church, with our families, with people we love. We need to go out and really truly be, not just be the hands and feet of Jesus in the ways of helping people, of feeding them, of helping them with money, of praying for them. But we also need to teach them, to wake them up to what is going on around them. That things that they can't see, maybe things that they wrestle with when they go to sleep, they have nightmares about. They see demons in their dreams. We have to talk to our church, our families, people we care about, we love, about what is really going on out there in the realm of the spiritual. We have to let them know what it means and what we have to do in order to not just wrestle it, but to actually be triumphant in the battle. And this is what we have to do. We have to put on the armor of God, the full armor of God. Remember, we have the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the belt of truth, the sword of the Spirit. And we also have feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, or the sandals, right? We have those things already. And you're saying, do I have to go out there and get an entire armor? No, obviously not. Because the full armor, as I've stated before, is Jesus. The armor of God is Jesus. The gospel of peace, the sword of the Spirit, the belt of truth, the shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation. That is Jesus. That is how we win. That is how we go out there and we talk to our people about it, how we try to make them understand what's going on. I'm going to read Ephesians 6:12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. 2 Corinthians 10:3-4. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but divinely powerful for the destruction of fortresses. And if, you know what, when people read that, the majority of our church, and I'm not just pointing at our church, I'm saying our church as a whole, American church. People don't know what that means. They don't know what it means. What did you just read? Can you read it again? For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but divinely powerful for the destruction of fortresses. They have no idea. And they've never been really taught that. Why would we need that? That makes no sense to them. They're still being fed milk. When are we going to actually get to the meat? That's what I'm talking about. And so throughout these little, 15, maybe 20-minute type little presentation, I will be, really diving into spiritual warfare. I'm going to dive into cultural battles that are going on out there. What's going on the world stage as well. Talking more about what's going on as far as the persecution of Christians around the world. And I'll bring, like I said, the articles and or the podcast information so that you can go ahead and do your own research, start praying over this yourself, and start trying to, maybe share it with others to open their eyes, their ears. But this is just the beginning. This is just something of the topics that I will be covering through these few minutes.